Live on 2SM and the Super Radio Network. Chris Smith across Australia.
Well, in the very first week back on air this year, I bemoaned the lack of leadership in Australian political life, especially from the major parties. But I think it's fair to say one politician who has never lacked leadership and working in the best interest of Australians and not the party is One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. And I'm pleased to say she is on the line with me for the first time in 2025. Happy New Year to you, Pauline.
Same to you, Chris. You just took my breath away with your opening statement. So I'm just, thank you.
Don't be silly. How was your break? Did you have some good family time?
Yeah, yes and no. I didn't. My daughter couldn't come up, so anyway, she's coming up next week.
Good.
With the kids. So it's a little bit belated with family time, but I had a very quiet Christmas. Actually, I did my housework on Christmas Day and Boxing Day.
What?
So clean windows and everything. I had a day by myself, and I loved it because I've just trying to get this work done, which I don't get to do throughout the year, my gardening and mowing. So I've had a fantastic time as far as that goes. So it was lovely.
And are you ready, like physically, mentally ready for an election campaign? Because it will be fierce, it will be hard fought, and there'll be long hours, right?
It is. I've got the Western Australia state elections coming up, so I'm hitting the ground. I'll be in South Australia on this 25th, 26th. So I'm down there, so it's really going to be full on for me. Chris, I think this is a very important election that we will be facing, especially where the country is going to go with it. And I'm in fear that if Labor, the Greens and Teals get hold of the country, it's going to be in a position we won't be able to turn things around. So much damage has been done with cost of living, rising costs, people struggling. It's got to be turned around. The whole thing is the net zero, what they're pushing in policies. That's the guts of everything. And if we can't turn it around and the common sense prevail, Australians will never recover from it.
I have a feeling that both major parties may get a rude awakening and that their primary vote, both of them, their primary vote might be as low as they've ever recorded.
I think we're seeing that a little bit in the polls now. People, they frustrate me. Chris, I get pulled up all the time about, policies, thank you. And I had a couple of people when I was over in Thailand come up to me and say, thank you for all that you've done for the Jewish people and fighting that anti-Semitism that's happening in Australia and standing up for us. And I said, that's the right thing you do for Australians. No one should be treated that way. Anyway, were so appreciative. And I said, look, you might be a Conservative voter, and I said, but you have to vote for One Nation and give the majors your second preference. At least give us a go to represent you. And they said, we will. And that's what people have to understand. If you want change for the better, you actually have to give One Nation a go to represent you on the floor of Parliament. And I think I've proven over the years, my heart is with the people, my heart is for the country. And it's not self-interest. And these policies they're putting out is all about maintaining their own positions. And we have to, I'm just so passionate about this, Chris. And I think it's imperative, like these policies that they've put out is not in the best interest of the country. We're going further into debt. We will not be able to provide the services that we need, the hospitals, education, the roads, the infrastructure. So it's important, and I find that sometimes Peter Dutton and the Liberals are lacking in leadership. They're trying to please the middle of the road, Aboriginal industry, the multicultural section, the other things. They're not showing that strong leadership Australians are screaming out for.
Yeah. You mentioned Israel there in that answer. What's your reaction to the Gaza ceasefire news this morning?
I am absolutely delighted with it. And have no doubt, all these protesters on the streets and the way they've treated other Australians has not brought about this outcome at all. I don't think it has. And I'm disgusted with what was allowed to go on with this protest and the way fellow Australians and those of the Jewish community have been treated. It's appalling to see the destruction that's happened not only with the synagogues but also with even the Muslims and their prayer house and that type of thing, what's happened there. But I think that incoming Trump has had a lot to do with it as well, because he said if this is not sorted out by my inauguration, all hell will break loose. And we know that he's a man of his word. So I think that's played in it as well. Yep. But I think the people over there themselves, and of course Lebanon has got a ceasefire over there, I think it's changed over there because Hamas has lost its allies. So therefore they know that's coming to close, and with Trump coming in. Yeah,
very isolated indeed. I want to talk to you about your policy that you want to take to the next election affecting pensioners, lifting the cap on how much pensioners can earn before it affects their pension. Now, at the moment, for people who don't know, a single pensioner can earn $212 a fortnight and $372 per fortnight before it affects the pension. Given the cost of living pressures, this is a winner, and we've got to consider it.
Of course we do. It means it's unlimited. Age pensioners, and we're talking about age pensioners, right? Age pensioners have worked all their life, they've paid their taxes, they've earned the right to be on an age pension. So why not allow them to work? COVID has caused so much destruction in this country, and I'm coming across the health professionals, teachers, different people that have lost their jobs because of the COVID. They weren't ready to retire, but they're forced into that position. Now, with the cost of living and everything like that, we've got that knowledge and experience that's going untapped.
Yeah.
Why not allow them to actually go back to work unlimited? It won't affect their pension.
Nope.
Or the benefits go with it, but if they're going to be working, they're paying tax like anyone else.
Correct, and so therefore there's revenue coming into government.
Correct. So why actually bring in migrants to fill these positions that Australians will do? So tap into that experience, that knowledge. The registered nurses that I come across, they would dearly love to get in work. But not only that, the veterans as well. Now, the veterans still have their benefits and that type of thing, and they can work. But there are those ones out there that may be able to pick it up and allow them to work. They've actually put their life on the line. Some of them didn't go overseas in war zones, but they signed up for it, so they were there, eligible for it. Look after these people, the veterans. Stop the bringing the migrants. And I'll tell people this. In 2022 to 23, we brought in 737,000 migrants. Only 51,605 were actually skilled migrants. So therefore, we're bringing a lot of people that add strain to our housing infrastructure that we don't need here.
Yes.
Give the Australian people the opportunity to work.
Yeah, exactly. And as you say, experience, but also wisdom. They can bring a whole lot more to a workplace.
Well, they're not out there, trying to find extra housing. They've actually they're Australians. They're going to spend the money in the economy here, not the migrants that come here and send it back to their own countries. They're paying taxes here. Give them the opportunity to work and just open it right up. Let them work.
Yeah. I want our listeners in 50 network stations to hear what you have to say, especially on pensioners today and through the election campaign. We hope to have you on again, Pauline. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks, Chris.
Good on you.
New Year to everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
One Nation leader, Pauline Hanson. There you go. What are your thoughts about that? I think we've been down this track before in terms of discussing it publicly, but at the moment a single pensioner can earn $212 a fortnight. Would you like to be able to earn more than that? And what kinds of industries do you think you could? And if you could, why is there a cap on experience and wisdom?